we are celebrating Vaisakhi.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know what Vaisakhi is, we can do this every year because I think every year we learn something about Vaisakhi that me and Shay also didn't know about the previous year.
Now, Vaisakhi is one of the most important festivals for the Sikh community, so millions of people this coming Saturday, not only in the West Midlands, but not only across the country, the world are going to be celebrating Vaisakhi. And over the years, Sunny and I, we've been at Smethwick.
Yes, we have.
We placed ourselves in Smethwick Gurdwara. We then, the year later, decided to go to Soho Road in Birmingham, where we placed ourselves in Chandni Chowks. Last year, we placed ourselves at Burfia in Wolverhampton, and this year, right now, we are placed at Mr. Singh's Pizza in Cornwall Road in Handsworth Wood. And there's one person who every single year has decided that she would make sure she comes down to celebrate Vaisakhi with us, and that, of course, is the fantastic Sun Kaur of United Sikhs. Sun, it's a pleasure to have you back.
I know, once again, it's celebrating Vaisakhi together.
And it's like a tradition now, isn't it?
Yes, I think the three of us, it's like the Three Musketeers.
Oh, I like
that. Every year. It's fantastic. I really enjoy coming down with you all.
Now, every year we do ask you to explain for any of our listeners who doesn't know what Vaisakhi is, and every year you surprise us with another that even me and Shay get surprised. So there's always something to learn about, I guess, our history and as it gets revealed. So just so Vaisakhi here in the United Kingdom, how do we celebrate Vaisakhi in the United Kingdom, and what is Vaisakhi to the Sikh community?
Okay, so I think Vaisakhi can be celebrated in many different ways. There's obviously the religious and spiritual aspect of Vaisakhi, as well as the cultural aspect of Vaisakhi. So all across the UK, all across the world, as you mentioned earlier, you know, Sikhs will be celebrating in gurdwaras, in their homes. We'll also be having a Nagar Kirtan, which is a procession, just to kind of make the world aware of who we are. Vaisakhi was the initiation of the Khalsa. The Khalsa, we could say, is a family in 1699. And when we talk about leadership at work, we talk about teamwork, don't we? We have somebody, you know, telling us, you know, a vision of what we're going to do for the future. And we could also say that our 10th master, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, had that vision. You know, he was a true leader, and a true leader is one with a vision which continues for years and years and years, and you know, in this case, centuries. And his vision was to have a uniform family. So we have the Khalsa. The Khalsa is the pure ones, and we're also known, you know, for those who are fighting against tyranny, you know, for righteousness, and to protect the poor and the meek. And that was his vision, and you know, this is what we're celebrating, you know, Vaisakhi every single year.
I think it's absolutely beautiful, because for anyone who's tuning into the show, if you happen to have a work colleague who is Sikh, if you know, live next door to a Sikh, you'll know what Vaisakhi is all about. It is celebrating, you know, for those people that are baptized Sikhs, the birth of the Khalsa. So they have the 5Ks. Predominantly, when you see a Sikh person, they will be wearing a turban. That is, you know, a big part of the Sikh faith, and it identifies them. Of course, alongside that, a Sikh male will have Singh in their name, which means lion, and Kaur in the middle name, which means princess.
Yes, and the beauty again is that initiation of royalty and being like a sovereign type of family, could you say? And that's the beauty of the Khalsa. For myself, currently, I could consider myself as just a Sikh, because I'm still learning, and you know, one day I could be joining this family of the Khalsa, and I hope you both join me.
Yes. Well, I think it's a long journey, but I think what is beautiful about all faiths is how inclusive they are. And I think today our show is not just celebrating the Sikh community in the West Midlands, but the culture. And that's a very important part that we must talk about, because if you're Punjabi, then of course you could be Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Sikh. That part of India, everybody celebrates Vaisakhi because it is the harvest month as well, isn't it?
Yes, harvest month, and it's a very colourful event. And I just wanted to mention, thank you both for not complimenting my outfit.
I was just about to. I was just about to say a big part of that is the music, the food, and of course the fact that you are wearing a beautiful...
I really made an effort today. I really did.
A beautiful Indian outfit. It's called a salwar kameez. And I did notice the fact that you're wearing the Khalsa colour of orange.
I did.
So I did notice that.
Today.
Well, thank you. We've taken some pictures. They're on BBC WM. Now, Sun is going to be staying with us throughout the show. And a very good afternoon. Sunny and Shay here on BBC WM 95.6. We are live today from Mr. Singh's in Cornwall Road. We're based ourselves in Handsworth Wood today. We're celebrating Vaisakhi. Now, every year, whenever we do our Vaisakhi show, it has actually been a tradition for Sunny and I that we also try and get one of the team involved, and we have some turban tying. And today, we've decided that producer Matt Mitchell is going to have a turban tied. How do you feel about that?
Forward to it. It's always nice to try something new.
Yes.
So now, I know that in the past you've asked me the questions about the turban, about why, how tight it is, different designs and all that kind of stuff. Do you know how long it takes to tie a turban or anything? What's your impression of a turban at the moment?
I'm a complete newbie. I have no idea what to expect, so I'm here to learn. I'm here to hear all about it.
I love that. Now, we're joined by Indarjit Singh from United Sikhs, and we've still got with us, who stayed with us throughout the show today, Sun Kaur, also from United Sikhs. Indarjit, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Good afternoon to you all, Sunny and Shay, and all the listeners tuned in. Happy Vaisakhi to you from all of us here at Mr. Singh's.
Now, I have
to
ask you, when I first met you years ago, you didn't wear a turban, you didn't have a beard.
I was like you, short, black and size.
There you go. So tell us, when did you say, right, I'm at that part of my journey now where I want to wear the turban, I'm going to grow my beard. When did that happen for yourself?
Yes, we're all on a journey.
Yeah.
Just before I turned 40,
right.
It was, if it's the right wording to use, it was sort of kicking in.
Right.
You know, I was trying to find myself for a few years, looking up to my forefathers, my gurus, my grandfather, who's a turban Sikh. I started to help out with the charity United Sikhs, got involved with some volunteering work within some of the broadcasting channels that...
Car channel here,
Sungat Television.
Sungat TV, yeah.
And sort of got to sort of know more about my faith, my identity. You know, before I turned 40, it was like, right,
this won't do.
No more haircuts. Let it hang loose and get tying a turban.
Can I ask you about the turban as well? There's so many different designs. Matt has asked me in the past different colours and how long it takes to tie it, and all. Because I don't wear a turban myself, and I have in the past someone tied a turban on me. I know my dad does it on a regular basis like yourself. He does it every morning. It takes him about now 10 minutes. In the beginning, it took him an hour. How long does it take, and how long is the fabric, and all of those, are they relevant?
Right, when you first start tying a turban, it does take up to an hour.
Wow.
You know, there's times where you sort of get frustrated and you think, right, no, this is not for me. But, you know, you're finding yourself. Now, personally, it takes me about 15 minutes to tie in the morning. Normally, the cloth is 5 to 7 meters long. Okay, various colours. The colours that are sort of relate to Vaisakhi are normally blue, orange.
Yeah.
And normally when you see a turban Sikh in a red turban, it's normally on their wedding day.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
yeah,
what Sunny
that's
has
the one
on
I
our
had as well.
wedding day.
Matt, are you? So he's going to start tying the turban on you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for that, Indy. And so you're going to be there, and we're going to film this as well.
Yep, looking forward to it. I've got blues, so I'm very happy being a blues fan.
Hey,
so
that's panned out really nicely, hasn't it? Now, if you're tuning into the show, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago because in the Houses of Parliament there was Turban Tying Awareness Day as well. Sun, whilst Indarjit Baji starts on the turban, Indarjit, thank you so very much for that. We are going to film this, so this will go up on the WM Facebook page as well. Sun, for Sikhs, the turban is one of the most important parts of their 5Ks as part of the birth of the Khalsa. It's, you know, for a lot of people, their identity, but also it is a practical way, of course, of tying their very long hair. Yourself with United Sikhs, you do a lot of charity work across the world, don't you? When you go and you have people like Indarjit going to places like France and Europe with a turban, how have you been treated when you've been abroad?
Okay, well, the turban, again, as we mentioned earlier on about leadership, many Sikhs and everyone across the globe now knows that the turban is not just 5 to 6 meters of cloth. It is an actual crown for us. You know, you treat it with the utmost respect. It's not something that you just take off and just, you know, place onto a table.
Yes.
You know, we treat it with that respect. In many countries now, you know, people are beginning Sikh identity of the turban. That's your physical identity. But we have had many issues across Europe where Sikhs are stopped at the airport, and especially in France, where we have Sikhs like Indarjit and the others here who have to remove their turban for their driver's license.
Right.
And for us it's a real sort of, could you say, uncomfortable situation. For instance, when the Paris attacks in 2015 happened, myself and the team, we were out in France and we were actually donating blood at the hospitals. And one sense of sort of disheartening feeling that I had myself was when a lot of our volunteers were so eager to kind of donate their blood, had to then sign in and show them, these driver's licenses with no turbans, and I really felt that pain for them, because the turban has a great significance of loyalty and sovereignty.
Yeah, and I guess the irony there, isn't it, that Sikhs in the World War I fought in France with turbans, and in World War II,
and
I know
welcomed, and they were seen as saints walking through the streets of France.
Yes, so again, it's that, isn't it? The whole leadership role of the turban. It's not just a, many may think it's some sort of fashion symbol nowadays. The turban has become quite trendy with some designers.
It has,
but it is something that you have to hold with a lot of responsibility. You have responsibility with your families with a turban. But as well as that, you have the responsibility of the community once you wear that turban.
Well, if you want further details for United Sikhs, you can go to unitedsikhs.org. Matt is underway with his turban time. We'll catch up with him later on in the show to find out how it feels. Now, we are really chuffed to say that we're joined now as part of celebrating Vaisakhi by a fantastic educational group. They are known as Basics of Sikhi, and they teach the Sikh scripture and philosophy via weekly sermons here in the Midlands. They do talks across the UK, largely in English, and we've got Baljit Singh, we've also got Sukhdeep Singh, and we have Babban Singh as well, who are joining us right now to talk a little bit about Basics of Sikhi. It's a pleasure to meet you. Firstly, a very happy Vaisakhi to you.
And to yourself, happy Vaisakhi.
Now, I want Babban to come in as well. We're all moving around whilst we're based here in Mr. Singh's. Now, I have to ask, what exactly are you wearing for our listeners so that they can understand? Because this is a very traditional Sikh outfit, isn't it?
Yes, so this is a bana I'm wearing. So yeah, it's a very traditional outfit that the Sikhs wear. It comes with this idea of Bani Bana. So Bani means the words of the Guru. So you first speak the words of the Guru, you live the words of the Guru, and then you dress like the Guru as well, which is the Bana, the costume side as well.
Now, something I do want to talk to you guys about is the fact, Babban, Basics of Sikhi, sadly, last year, am I right, it was last year, Jagraj Singh passed away. Now, Jagraj Singh was really known internationally for spreading the word via Basics of Sikhi. He passed away from cancer. Just before he died, he did talk to Sun Kaur about the importance of Basics of Sikhi's work continuing. You, Babban, and the team continued that since he's passed away.
I think that day itself, being on the Sunny and Shay show, actually showed a different light to Jagraj, even to myself. Someone that I've known for 6 years, but for him to have been quite emotional like that on a radio show as well. But I think it just generally showed the passion and the drive he had for the projects and stuff and everything that he's been part of all this time. We, as a team, we use it every day to motivate us, to keep us going and stuff. Generally, like every day when you're in their office, the guys are editing videos and stuff.
Yes.
Hearing Jagraj, things he's saying, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's like, wow, this guy. But I think the message itself was the message of our Guru, and that's our real inspiration, really. I mean, Jagraj as a brother to us, as a leader of Everything's 13, as a charity, as Basics of Sikhi, he was a leader and he always will be. But the message itself is the same. And
where does the message get lost in this whole idea of the way the media is portraying some of the ethnic minorities and also some of the conversations around religion and immigration and identity? Where does the message get lost when you're not even talking about you as a Sikh, you're talking to yourself as a person? Where does the message get lost when you are trying to walk the streets and you've got a turban on, or someone picks on you they're mistaking you for a different religion?
One of the reasons for that is Sikhs have never really gone out their way and classified themselves as missionaries, where we've took it upon ourselves to go out there and let people know who we are, in the sense of trying, where we're intentionally going out there to try and convert people. So I think that's probably one of the first places that's initiated from, where that education and message hasn't gone out enough. But then it was kind of rethinking that and looking at, actually, okay, so if we're not out there, if we're not missionaries, if we're not out there to convert, but what was it that Guru Nanak did? And he got out so far and wide, and so many people came to know of this path. So it was kind of reconnecting to that and understanding that.
And most of that path was that everyone can relate to. It is nature, isn't it?
So where Guru Nanak himself said that this path is born out of compassion. So again, a predominant Sikh of that time, of the third Guru's time, spoke about Guru Nanak and said what it was that made him go out. And he said it was the compassion, because he could hear the cries of the world, of the people of the world, that were suffering in pain, whether they were suffering in depression, anxiety, whether they were burning in desires, materialistic desires, and getting so engrossed in the world and in attachment. So Guru Nanak was connected to everyone, and out of that pain for people he went out. So this path is born out of compassion to heal people's suffering that is going on inside.
Stay with us, guys. There's a lot more to talk about with Basics of Sikhi. It's not just about the faith, it's about connecting with people just on a human level as well. We'll continue talking to the guys. You can go to basicsofsikhi.com if you want further details, by the way, straight after the Supremes. We've been celebrating Vaisakhi on the show today. It's actually Vaisakhi this Saturday, the 14th of April. And Vaisakhi is, well, it's one of the most important Sikh festivals. It's, of course, the birth of the Khalsa. And we've been having a chat with the fantastic Baljit Singh and Babban Singh. Now, the reason I call them fantastic is they do so much work, not only in the West Midlands, across the country as part of Basics of Sikhi. You can go to the website, basicsofsikhi.com. You have decided, Babban, I wanted to quickly talk to you about this, the fact that a lot of the talks that you do across the UK and here in the West Midlands are predominantly in English. Is there a reason for that?
I think it all started initially 6 years ago when the organisation was set up, and Jagrad started making vlog-style videos on YouTube. And he went onto YouTube and saw what the content was, and he basically thought that no one's talking about our Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who is such an inspiration to us all as Sikhs. So he started making vlog-style videos, and people really took a liking to it, and it kind of just took from there. And then from there, generally, by going to the Gurdwara Sahib and having regular events at the Gurdwara, we realised that this is what is kind of missing, in the sense, like a lot of Gurdwara are active in the sense doing more English programs now and having translations up. But there weren't at that time many people talking about it in English.
Right.
So it's kind of offered like a new way of people understanding more about their faith.
So can I ask you, where are you guys going to be for Vaisakhi?
Yes.
Are you part of the Mela? Are you part of the Gurdwara? Where are you going to be?
So myself, I do a weekly katha anyway, every Saturdays at Somerset Road Gurdwara in Handsworth Wood in Birmingham. So I'm there, but this time they've got a special Vaisakhi program and Kirtan happening.
Anyone's welcome? Anyone's welcome?
Everyone's obviously welcome, and my slot is the usual slot at 7 to 8. And I think that was really interesting. It touched on like why was the need of like English katha, and sometimes it seems like, you know, breaking into a different language is a new concept. But the truth is, like, if we look at the Bani itself, it's got plus 30 languages and different dialects. So Guru Nanak, wherever he travelled out to, he spoke the local dialect.
Yes.
You know, he spoke fluent Farsi as well, Persian.
Yes.
So it's actually something that we're trying to bring back, and it's not a new concept.
It's not a new concept. I like
It's not a new
that.
concept.
Guys, a real pleasure
Thank
meeting
you,
you
guys.
both. And also as well to yourself as well. The website, basicsofsikhi.com. Gurdwara, by the way, is the Sikh temple, for anyone who doesn't know. Katha, very loosely translated, means a talk, or you've heard of sermons in churches. That's the best way to describe it. Thank you, guys.
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us. We're now joined by Karam Singh, who is involved with boxing.
Wow.
As soon as we heard about this, we wanted to talk about this.
Yes.
Now, boxing, of course, did have a ban with regards to having beards being banned in boxing, but it's been overturned recently. How long is it that you've been in boxing?
So I've been in boxing for about 2 years now. Problem is you can't compete. That's what I really wanted to do. Thanks to Budadal, Sikh PA and Lions MMA, we were able to overturn the ban, and now I can box, and thousands of Sikhs can as well.
So there could have been a world champion Sikh boxer years ago, but it's only because of this rule that they couldn't come to the ring.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like you're limiting people of their opportunities. I know it myself, if I'd been boxing, say a year ago, I could have accomplished a lot more. But say now, I have to deal with what the situation has been, and I have to play along with it now and do what I need to do and turn professional a lot quicker now.
And do you think that just opens the door for young people who are coming behind you, look at you as a role model, and maybe start training up the next world champion here in the United Kingdom?
I'll tell you one thing, I personally wouldn't have put so much emphasis into getting rid of the beard ban if I didn't believe in myself. I know I will be a world champion. We might be looking back at this interview in 7-8 years. But you know what, there's a lot of Sikh talent, but of course, they need the opportunity and the platform to show their talent.
Now, it's interesting because when you were in the West Midlands, how has it been for you as a turban-wearing, beard-carrying Sikh? Has it been easy for you in the years that you've, walked the streets and we've come to Handsworth Wood right now, and everyone's like, the BBC are here at Handsworth Wood, they never come down here.
Well, the thing is, I come from poverty, if I'm honest with you, so that's, it's a cliche of me being in boxing, really. Me wearing my turban and my beard, it makes me distinct from everybody else. But this is the thing, even when I go to amateur clubs to spar other people, even professionals and stuff, I'm the only Sikh with a beard and a turban. And it gives me great pride because, they ask me, what are you? We heard about Sikhs, Sikhs are warriors and stuff. And it gives me pride as well because I know I have to perform as well with them.
How are you celebrating Vaisakhi?
Well, I'll go to the Gurdwara, of course. Yeah. And I'll probably be in the gym, if I'm honest with you.
World champion in the making.
We're sat here in a restaurant. I suspect with your diet as a boxer,
yeah,
you can't be having any pizza, can you?
I've already ate. I've had to sort myself out. You know what I mean?
Karam, we'd love to get you in the studio because I think your journey is an important one. You're a local guy and you're upcoming within the boxing world. Will you keep in touch with us over the coming months and years so we can follow your journey, as you say, as you want to turn professional?
No, of course, this is the thing. I didn't do this just for myself. I did it because I want to help the community.
Yes.
In years to come, I want to be able to teach, younger Sikhs boxing as well. My thing is just not short term. And this is what we need.
Oh, well, I think it's a fantastic thing. What's your details for Facebook or Instagram?
So if you want to follow my Instagram, it's a bit long here, but it's el.gwopo, El Guapo, yeah. I haven't got anything else because I like to focus on my training. But if you catch me on there, I'm always uploading new stuff. New training stuff, and if anybody needs any help or advice, I'm more than happy to help.
Well,
what I'm going to do is
so
we're going to tweet
that
that just in case anyone didn't get it.
Just very quickly, Sun, what did you want to say?
I was just going to mention how we spoke earlier about leadership, and Karam Singh took that leadership role with obviously doing what he did for the difficulties he had through his boxing sort of beginning of his journey. So I admire him for that.
I admire you too, Karam. A real pleasure meeting you. Thank you for joining us today, Karam. We're going to take a picture with Karam and post it up onto BBCW, and we'll be back straight after Elvis Presley. A very good afternoon. It's Sunny and Shay. We're here with you till 4. Throughout the last 2 hours, we've been celebrating Vaisakhi on the show today. We've been talking about the religion, Sikhism, the importance of Vaisakhi, but also the cultural aspect as well. And we thought we would end on something that I think brings everyone together.
Yes, and this is something that the Sikh community and also this organisation does year in, year out, regardless if it's Vaisakhi or Christmas or Easter or Hanukkah. They don't care. They do this 24/7.
Well, we're talking about food. It's the important thing. Now, Midland Langar Seva is a charity that provides food to those on the streets of the West Midlands and also in India. And in fact, the team averages around 17,000 meals. That is 17,000 free meals a week. And they've been a really amazing example of the Sikh ethos of giving free food to those that need it. It's also known as Langar. And we're joined now by Jas Kaur, who is a volunteer. Jas, it's a pleasure to meet you. Now, thank you so much. I know you've been waiting patiently to have a chat with us. How important is it for you to volunteer with Midland Langar Seva and give food to the needy, to the homeless, to people across the West Midlands who don't get food?
It was a shock to see what's actually out there, and the simple basic necessity as food, and how many people don't actually get access to that. It was really emotional as well, but to be honest, the team, Midland Longer Seva, they're so approachable. They'll always provide the support that you need. If you're not comfortable to be at the forefront to actually provide that food, they will actually support you with regards to anything that you do want to provide. If you want to just get donations together, the support is there from the team.
Now, when you talk about langar, for yourself, where did you experience langar first? Was it in the Gurdwara?
Yes, it was. I mean, to be honest, when Midland Longer Seva originally was established, that was one of the things that we were looking at is, you know, how can we bring the teachings from our history and what our gurus brought to the world, and each guru brought something, and so the langar actually came from Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and the concept of langar we want to bring into the Western world that we're actually in today.
So it doesn't mean just Punjabi food then, does it?
No.
What's all the food that you guys give?
Exactly. So it's vegetarian, and the reason why it's vegetarian is solely because it shows the equality. It shows the equality of people actually having the same meal. So, you know, there's no race, there's no religion involved, no caste, you know, male, female, no gender involved in this.
Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, everyone can just go and enjoy a meal and not worry about it.
Absolutely. So it's pure vegetarian, and that's the only reason why, to show equality.
I do love that. Now, Sun, you've talked about this on the show before, haven't you? The importance of free food, free langar, giving out to all the communities. But this idea, that's usually in the temples, in the Sikh temples, anyone can go in at any time and have langar, which is free food. How important do you think it is something like Midland Langar Seva Society to give that outside of the temples and go out to the communities?
I think, obviously, with langar, it's a vegetarian meal, and it's become a very sort of known concept within the Sikh community. When we talk about serving, we talk about love. I think love comes before religion. Love is loving God. And you see that concept of langar is that you are serving God, you are serving God's people. So if you are feeding 17,000 on average, you know, people in the Midlands alone, you should see that you are actually serving God.
Can I ask you, where are you situated, and how do people get access to this food, homeless or families as well? You've got some families who are coming to you guys for help as well at the moment.
We have, yeah. So at the moment we've got 18 teams up and down the country.
Wow.
We've got 3 teams outside of the country as well. So we've got one in Germany, we've got one in Mumbai and one in Delhi as well. Now, we do get families approaching us, people that haven't got access to food, but not, you know, they don't need to be homeless as such, but they're really struggling. So we do support them in that sense as well. We show them the right guidance, we take them to the right people, we get them that support that they need. We've had people that, you know, sort of immigrants that have not had access because they've not had the money to do that.
Oh, right.
So we provide them, you know, with the necessities as well. At the moment, I'm situated in Birmingham City Centre, where we actually do the feed. But again, there's 18 teams up and down the country. So we've got one in Wolverhampton.
All over the
Leicester,
place.
everywhere.
So, just go to your Facebook page, isn't it?
Yes, we've got massive support with social media. Facebook's it's all over there. Anything you need, you can Google on that.
I'm going to spell it for anyone who's tuning into the show. It's Midland Langar Seva Society. So Midland, Langar, which is Langar, Seva, which is Seva Society. Jas, a pleasure meeting you.
You too,
and a happy Vaisakhi.
You too. Have a great time.
I hope you have a lovely Vaisakhi as well. It's a thing to Jas, but just finally, Sun, throughout the whole 2 hours, we've had so much fun, but we haven't asked, how are you spending your Vaisakhi?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you a small secret, first of all. Mr. Singh's has just given me a speciality pizza, and he told me not to tell you both, but as I made a pact at the start that we're a trio, I thought I'd best tell you the secret.
Go on, then what's the secret?
I can't tell you.
I knew you were going to say that. Sun, it's had so much fun, I have to say, throughout the 2 hours today. It's been not only a cultural revelation, I think, for a lot of people who haven't got to hear some of the instruments that we don't often get to hear on the radio. What did you feel about that?
I think it's, I'm really shocked that these are local people of Birmingham who have learnt these instruments of classical tradition. And I even see now, I'm peering over, and Mr. Singh himself has been on the Dilruba, not the Dilruba, sorry, the Sarangi.
The Sarangi, yeah.
I didn't realise he has so much talent. The whole event has just been fantastic today, you know, to celebrate Vaisakhi. You know, Sikhs all over the globe will be obviously celebrating this day with family, friends at your local Gurdwara. And again, you know, we talked about the message of Langar, so there's places in Punjab right now, such as the Golden Temple known as Amritsar, where they'll be serving over 200,000 meals of Langar.
Well, listen, Sun, a very happy Vaisakhi to you. And we're going to hand over now to Jatinder and Pradeep Singh as they're going to play us out. A happy Vaisakhi to everybody who's been tuning into the show. And we'll be back on Monday. A big thanks to all the team as well.